Hello and welcome to my own personal top 40 of 1984. In these videos, I take you through my huge collection of playlists on Spotify. I have top 40s from 1970 to 1991, annuals from 1925 to the present day, artist specials, genre specials, themed shows, and many, many more. And many of my playlists become radio shows, and you can hear the radio show of today's Top 40 of 1984 on Mixcloud. There's a link in the description. And you can hear the playlists that I'm talking about on Spotify. There are links in the description to those as well. The Top 40, 84 songs from 84, which are songs that entered the UK Top 40 but didn't get into my own personal Top 40. And 1984 extras, which are songs that didn't enter the UK Top 40. Could be album tracks or just non-charting singles. Okay, let's get straight into the Top 40 of 1984. A fantastic year, in my opinion. Number 40, Kenny Loggins and Footloose spent a week at 6 in May of 1984. 39, Depeche Mode, People Are People, spent a week at 4 in April of 84. Number 38, Tears for Fears and Shout, which spent a week at 4 in January of 85, but it entered the UK Top 40 in 1984, so it's aight. Number 37, Ultravox, Dancing with Tears in My Eyes, spent a week at 3 in June of 84. 36, Prince, Purple Rain, spent a week at 8 in October of 84. 35, Alison Moyet, Love Resurrection, spent a week at 10, straddling July and August of 1984. And at 34, Alphaville, Big in Japan, spent a week at 8 in September of 84. Number 33, Cyndi Lauper, Time After Time, spent a week at number 3 in July of 84. And number 32, The Cars, Drive, spent a week at 5 in October and November of 84. Now that's a weird one because it also did really well in 1985, but I chose to include the version in 1984. Oh, okay. Number 31, Bronski Beat and Why, which spent a week at 6 in October of 84. Into the top 30. Number 30, Denise Williams, Let's Hear It for the Boy, spent 2 weeks at 2 in June of 84. Number 29, Madonna, Holiday, spent a week at 6 in February of 84. 28, Tears for Fears, Mother's Talk, spent a week at 14 in September of 1984. And at 27, China Crisis, Wishful Thinking, spent a week at 9, straddling January and February of 84. 26, David Bowie, Blue Jean, spent a week at 6, straddling September and October of 84. 25, Tina Turner, What's Love Got to Do With It, spent a week at 3 in August of 1984. And at 24, Depeche Mode, Master and Servant, spent a week at 9 in September of 1984. 23, Fiction Factory, Feels Like Heaven. Oof, that was rough. Spent a week at 6 in February of 84. And at 22, the Thompson Twins, Doctor, Doctor, spent 2 weeks at number 3, straddling February and March of 84. And at 21, Nick Kershaw, Dancing Girl, spent a week at 13 in May of 84. Into the top 20. Oh, that was terrible. Grandmaster Flash and Melly Mel, White Lines, Don't Do It, spent 2 weeks at 7 in July and August of 84. Number 19, Howard Jones, Like to Get to Know You Well, spent 3 weeks at 4 in August and September of 84. And at 18, The Pointer Sisters, Automatic, spent 2 weeks at 2 in May of 84. Number 17, Madonna, Lucky Star, spent a week at 14 in April of 84. And at number 16, Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Relax. Oh, I loved that song at the time. Spent 5 weeks at number 1, straddling January and February of 84. Number 15, Nick Kershaw, Wouldn't It Be Good, spent 3 weeks at 4 in March of 84. You know, I'm laughing to myself because this order wouldn't be the same now if I were to do this list today. Number 14, Wham! Everything She Wants, spent 5 weeks at 2 in December of 84 and January of 85. It was the B-side, was it? It was a double A-side with Last Christmas, I think. 13, Laura Branigan, Self-Control. I love that song. Spent a week at 5 in September of 84. And at number 12, The Smiths, Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now. Spent 2 weeks at 10 in June of 84. At number 11, Womack and Womack, Love Wars. Love that. Spent a week at 14, straddling May and June of 84. And at number... Oh, into the top 10. Duran Duran, The Wild Boys, spent a week at 2 in November of 84. At number 9, Rufus and Chaka Khan, Ain't Nobody, spent a week at 8 in April of 84. That was in the soundtrack to the movie Breakdance, which is what it was called in the UK. I think it was called Breakin' in the rest of the world. Man, I was so into that. I was a wee break dancer. At number 8, Bronski Beat, Small Town Boy, spent a week at 3 in June of 84. Number 7, Eurythmics, Here Comes the Rain Again, spent a week at 8 in February of 84. And at number 6, Pride, In the Name of Love by U2, spent a week at 3, straddling September and October of 84. Number 5, The Smiths, What Difference Does It Make, spent a week at 12 in February of 84. This was their first year in the charts. And number 4, Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Two Tribes, spent 9 weeks at number 1. My God. In June, July and August of 84. And this was the very first 7-inch single I ever bought. I bought Relax on the same day, but I think it was Two Tribes that inspired me to do that. Anyway, number 3, Chaka Khan. God, I love this song so much. I Feel For You. Spent 3 weeks at number 1 in November of 84. Everybody knows it was a Prince song. Stevie Wonder played the harmonica. It was really just a wonderful thing. And I'm glad it was number 1. Deserved it. Number 2, Duran Duran, New Moon on Monday, my favourite Duran Duran song. Spent 2 weeks at 9 in February of 84. And at number 1, Prince, my favourite solo artist of all time, When Doves Cry. Spent 2 weeks at 4, straddling July and August of 84. Of course, the summer of 84 belonged to Prince, in the US anyway. Number 1 album, number 1 single, number 1 film. Wow, huh? And it never got as good as that, but how can you possibly get better than that? So that's my top 40 of 1984. Now, as you're looking at the screen, you are seeing my 84 songs from 84. Now, this is basically a list of songs that entered the UK top 40, but didn't make my own personal top 40. And I regret some of those decisions now. As I said earlier, I would totally change my top 40 of 1984 if I were doing it today. But then if I were doing it next week, I'd probably change it again, and then another month later again and again. So it really depends on the mood, and that's why I depend on you to let me know in the comments what you love. What are your favourite songs? Maybe your top 5. Maybe give me your top 10 of 1984. Favourite albums of 1984. That's cool. Look at all those great songs flashing by on the screen. Aren't they terrific? I think 1984 was a really amazing year. Personally, it was a very good year for me because, you know, there was a load of great things. Breakdancing, roller skating, and the music was just extraordinarily good. And it was on the verge of going downhill. I think halfway through 1985, just after Live Aid, it started to go downhill. It went up again a little bit in 88, I would say, but 86 and 87 were a bit meh. Well, that's my opinion anyway. You can hear the top 40 playlist on Spotify. There's a link in the description, and you can hear the top 40 radio show on Mixcloud. There's a link in the description, and you can hear 84 songs from 1984 on Spotify. There's a link in the description, and you can hear the playlist of 1984 extras, this one, on Spotify. There's a link in the description. And as you can see, these are songs that didn't enter the UK top 40. They were either album tracks, or they charted outside the top 40, or they didn't chart at all. Maybe they were big in other countries. Anyway, there's a wee list of extras from 1984, and the extras playlists are unfinished. So if you've got any suggestions for me as to what songs I should add to the extras playlist, which means they have to be album tracks or non-top 40 songs. That's the only way they can get to the extras playlist, because of course there's loads of albums, loads of songs that I haven't included for a variety of reasons. So yeah, let me know, and let me know your favorites from 1984. All my videos live here, so subscribe, like if you like, and remember to leave your comments. And all my playlists live on Spotify. All my radio shows live on Mixcloud. So follow me wherever, and I'll be back tomorrow with my top 40 of 1985, 85 songs from 1985, and 1985 extras. Until then, have a lovely day. Bye bye.